warm welcome to our Digital Dialogue webinar series. Please note that these webinars are being recorded. After the sessions, you will be able to access a recording plus the presentations on our website. Through this webinar series, we're exploring the latest trends in digital transformation. And most importantly, we're looking at how digitization is helping us to overcome some of the biggest challenges that we are facing in our ever-changing world. I'm Rose Wesby, Director for Digital Transformation at ABB, and your moderator through this series. In this session now, we are going to be hearing from our lovely guest, direct from Bergamo, Valerio Livotti, who is our Digital Product Owner for Energy Management at ABB Electrification. He will be discussing with us a really important topic all about increased efficiency, which is down to the energy management solutions. As well as preparing his insights and sharing them with you, this is an opportunity for you to ask all of your burning questions directly to Valerio. We will be sure to answer them as long as you're able to submit them to us. So please do use the Q&A function available to you through the WebEx throughout this session, and we will get to those questions at the end. Now there's nothing left for me to say except to hand over to our wonderful guest, Valerio, over in ABB Bergamo, Italy. Valerio, over to you.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you. So today we are going to talk a little bit about the energy management solutions that we are launching in ABB Electrification. But first of all, I want to give you a little bit of an idea of what came out in our mind to shape our products, shape our vision, and shape our strategy for the next future. First of all, when we talk about energy efficiency, we are not talking only about residential. We are not talking only about commercial building or industrial building. We are talking about a framework. We are talking about cities. We are talking about governments that are investing a lot of money to build up new ideas, new normatives, new potential activities to achieve energy efficiency. So we started with something that is related to our future. So first of all, we looked at the trends. So by looking at the trends, we were able to understand where we are going and what we want to achieve. First of all, we have seen that the energy demand is growing. Has grown in the last years and is growing in the future. So an average worldwide is 2%, but 2% doesn't mean a lot. What we are seeing is that people are asking for cheap energy and availability of energy all the time. Second part, and very important trends that we are seeing, is that companies, governments are investing a lot in renewable energies for two reasons. First, availability, and of course, cheaper price, but at the same time, we want to have sustainability, which is a very key word and very key concept that we are looking inside of ABB. So how we shape it and how is our strategy and how is our trends and where we are going to go. So the first idea that we had in mind is how to build an ABB Ability solution for energy management that is safe. What do we mean with that? So first, we want to show to our customer and we want to provide our customer a solution that provides safety as a core value. So our customers need to be safe when they deal with our product, when they deal inside of the electrical system or the electrical distribution system or their loads inside their building. So what we want to provide is a product that is capable of ensuring safety. The second important point is that we want our products and our solutions to be smart. Smart means that we get the data, we visualize the data, and we act in a way that our device improve the performance and our solution is able to provide a performance improvement and more efficiency inside of the systems. And the third part, related again to the two previous points, is related to sustainability. So when we talk about sustainability, we talk about renewable energies, but as well as key concepts that we are looking. For example, today, one of the very big topics is microgrid. microgrid they are building in small cities, in big cities, in just one building, one industrial factory. So by looking at that, we want to ensure sustainability. Sustainability means that we are able to track the entire system to provide energy and to improve the system where we're at. So we analyzed where the inefficiency. So we had tons of examples inside of ABB. We have tons of clients asking us how we deal with some of the problems we are facing. One of it that we identified very important is the penalties that the customer is paying. Maybe in a residential building is not so elevated, but the commercial and more important in an industrial building, the penalties that we are paying in case of our poor quality of our electrical distribution system is very high. So the first goal that we target is how to build up a product and a solution, a digital solution that is able to support our client to eliminate completely that type of issue. Secondly, energy savings, because if we save this 100% of penalties that we are paying, we save as well energy. And of course, by doing that, we save 30% or more about our cost and our bills. So we analyzed several activities, several points that could create such type of problems. For example, we have looked at HVAC, we have looked at motors, we have looked at something that inside of our building that are coming in the future, for example, chargers for the electric vehicles. All of that can have a very high impact on our bill and very high impact on waste of energy. So by making an optimization of this type of points, loads, and framework, we are able to improve our system. By doing that, then, we are looking at a solution that has 4 key points. Monitoring. So from the basic and simple system, we can monitor a building, a commercial building, an industrial, everything, we can monitor it. And by just monitoring it, we are able to identify where our problems are. Second point, explore. We want to have exactly idea where the problems are. So by the exploring feature, we can see where we can improve. Finally, 2 points that are key and gives a lot of value to our customers and where we want our future to go is analysis of the data. Analysis of data. We want to be sure that when we analyze the data, we understand and we can provide a future and an activity that can improve the overall system. And finally, act. When I'm speaking about act, we can have a manual act directly from the customer or an automatic action that we can have in our system. So by making all these points together, we have shaped what we call energy management solution, the ABB Ability Energy Manager. By starting from our electrical distribution system, very basic, we track everything we want to arrive to our loads and optimize, forecast and optimize our loads. We want to be more intelligent. We want to provide our customer some intelligence to get the information, provide the information, and act in a way that his bills and his performance are elevated even more. So, point that we look at as well is the changing of our business model. So we don't want to be anymore something that is CapEx, the customer pays, and that's it. We want the customer to be free to upgrade, to change his needs during the day, during the week, during the year, in a way that in case he wants something more, he can have it immediately without having to call ABB for a new piece or a new service, a new software solution. We want the customer to be free to do whatever he wants immediately. And that provides 2 basic advancements. The first one, he doesn't need anybody to work with it and establish everything or engineer something. And the second part is that he can have a quick return on the investment. So very fast, he can get something back and see immediately the benefit of using ABB Energy Manager solution. So what I want to show you now is a little bit of an idea of what we are getting with our solution. So in a few seconds, I'm going to show you an example of ABB Ability Energy Manager, where we get all the information and where we can provide energy savings, our improvement of power quality, of an improvement of unplanned downtime if we have unplanned downtime in our buildings. Just to give you an idea, we are in a Ability such a building where we set up in a way to have a more or less a view of what we can do. So first part is that if we have a very basic building, a very commercial and basic building, we can monitor real-time our data. And by monitoring real-time our data, I'm speaking about the most important data that we can have: power, voltage, current. We can see the peak. So if we have a peak in the power consumption or the power absorption, then we can actually intervene or see what is wrong. We have also another tool that is alerting. So if we want to set a threshold, we can set a threshold and get back the information if you want. But by doing that, we are able also to check and visualize what we are producing, maybe with our solar roof or an aeolic generator, and compare if what we are consuming with what we are generating. At the same time, we get some more advanced features, something that is more valuable for the customers if we have a more complex industrial building or a more complex situation, where we have, for example, the power factor analysis, or we have, for example, the harmonics analysis. So in case the customer wants something more from the basic part, we can provide it. And by providing that, with few clicks, we are able to upgrade very fast and very easily our solution. But we are not over this, because we are able also to have something that is more complex, a little bit more complex, which is grouping. So in case we have a building which is a sum of different buildings, for example, the building 1, building, because there is a laboratory in another site, or if we have different floors, we are able to sum up or divide or eventually make any type of change and conversion we want inside of our building. So we have an additional functionality. Not everybody will use it, but most of the people will be able to look at it and understand that with this tool you can do more. But it's finished here, because we have a lot of functionality. We have over 100 functionality that can be implemented very fast. Another example, very easy and very relevant. For example, if the customer needs to have a certification, ISO 50001 certification for energy efficiency, of course, he can see and download the report that can use for the certification and to provide to the auditor. We have all the data here. We can upload the data for our production. We can make it in a way that the customer can benefit practically what we are producing. But finally, the energy management system, so ABB Ability Energy Manager, is not only about energy manager, it's also about asset manager. So in case the customer wants to include overall from medium voltage to low voltage, if he wants to see the health status, but at the same time, all the energy parts, that is very, very relevant, then he can upgrade and merge the two solutions that we are talking about today, energy manager and asset manager. Looking at this, then we are able to provide a full coverage for the energy part and asset part to our customers. Saying that, I open to question and answer, because I think there will be a lot of it, and looking at our strategy, I think we can have a very good and bright future in our hands.
Thank you very much, Valerio. Before we move over to a question answer, we do have something for our audience. We're going to be launching now a poll for you to answer. We'd be very grateful if you did take part. We use that as an indication for our success, but also we're using it for our development process. So please do take the time to complete the poll on your screen. Meanwhile, Valerio, let's kick off with some questions from the audience. The first question we have is, where do you see the highest potential to obtain energy efficiency in commercial and industrial environments?
Thank you, Rose. So this is very, very important questions and a very important way to look our energy manager system, but in general, a house or a building or a commercial building, industrial building. So the first, one of the key points we have seen where we have a lot of improvements, all the customers have improvements, it's HVAC. So in that part, we see that there are a lot of optimization to be done. When the HVAC is turned on, when the HVAC is turned off, what is the power absorption, how much is consuming, what building, what's part of the building we are using most HVAC. Maybe we are cooling some part that is not used. Maybe we are heating on the other side some that is not used. So by looking at that, we have a lot of improvements. Our data, but also literature, studies that have been shown are seeing that HVAC can save around 20% of the consumption. We are able, by looking at the HVAC, save around 20% of the energy consumption and then decrease a lot our energy bills.
Wow. Thank you, Valerio. So that's looking at HVAC or HVAC at a relatively small scale, at a building scale. But how about at a city? How do you see the future of our cities?
Also cities, this part is very, very relevant. So we are looking, and we talked about already, about the future. We have some segments that are growing a lot. EV chargers, we will see it later with another digital talk that we are going to have. In the city, I think the future is smart grids or grids. So each building, each commercial building, each industrial building will be able to build up its own microgrid with the utility and with the entire system. So by making more efficient each microgrid that we are building inside our city, then the overall system, nation, continent, or the entire world, of course, can improve a lot. So where I see there, microgrids and controlling exactly a small system to impact the bigger system.
Thank you, Valerio. I can imagine that energy management solutions are not consistent for all industries. How do you see that ABB Ability energy management solutions are targeting specific market segments?
Yes, what we try to do with our energy manager product and solution is to look at each segments where we see potential and grow. We talked about data centers, we will talk about EV charging, we are going to talk about e-mobility, building, food and beverage. There are several segments that are growing a lot. And then what we want to provide and what we are providing actually already today is something customized. So some parts that are customized for each segment. One example, data center, we provide the PUE and all the power quality analysis to make a data center more sustainable and more energy efficient. And the same way we are doing it with e-mobility. So if the chargers are connected to our commercial building or industrial building, the same time, food and beverage, how we control the motors and the loads that are used in a food and beverage industry. So by creating each vertical, we are able to provide a very strong added value to our customers for that specific segment.
Thank you, Valerio. I see your point. Value means different things to different people in different industries. So being able to build solutions that truly cater to what is valuable for the different industries is critical. It makes it sound rather complicated now that you have a solution that needs to be adapted and is very different for different industries. But is there more a common architecture that you're basing this on with some small changes, or are you creating totally new solutions in each case?
No, the basic is the same, actually. So what we try to do is to put a plug and play and create a plug and play solution easy to scale and easy to upgrade. So the customers actually will need just to make a click. It doesn't have to call anybody. It doesn't have to recreate any architecture. The base is always the same. What we provide is small add-ons, very little pieces of code already created by us that the customer just visualize, click on it, and poof, they come out very easily, providing what the customer wants to see. And those are available in the ABB Ability Marketplace. The customer can go and do it by himself without any help in less than a minute. So by doing that, we are able to be simple for the customers without costing a lot and without making a lot of pressure to the customer in creating something complex.
Fantastic. And a last quick question then, Valerio, if you don't mind. Where do you see we're going to see the biggest changes when it comes to energy management in the next couple of years?
So we have two parts that are very important. So the first, I think here we have to look at what governments are doing. For example, the European Commission launched the Green Deal that in the next 6, 7 years will create a new strategy, new ideas in the future. So what we want to do and where the energy management is going is towards optimization, forecasting, analytics that are going to improve a lot and simple parts. So it's going to go towards something very small in creating an impact, but very big if we look at the overall. Ourselves and our strategy is towards that, analytics that optimize, forecast, and act automatically to support the clients in achieving the results that he wants to have.
Thank you, Valerio. And I'm afraid that's all we have time for today. So with that, I thank you very much for joining us. And I thank all of our audience as well for taking the time to be here today. Now, as we close this session, all of our audience members, you will be prompted to fill in a very quick survey with some feedback for us on this session. We would be ever so grateful if you could take the time to fill that in. It's extremely important to us. But with that, I say thank you very much, Valerio, and thank you very much to our audience. Please do join us for the remainder of these digital dialogue webinars that are taking place later today and throughout tomorrow as well. And until then, do stay safe and well. Thank you very much.